welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the emotional undercurrents of Genoa City. Today is a beautifully reflective day, perfect for unpacking the complex, beating hearts of our favorite characters. Grab a warm cup of coffee, settle in, and let us explore the lingering shadows and fragile hopes that define the Newman family's latest saga. Think about the dust, the literal and figurative dust of Las Vegas finally beginning to settle around them. Chelsea Lawson has been through an absolute, waking nightmare recently. Waiting in that hotel room, her heart pounding out of her chest, paralyzed by the unknown, while Adam and Nick were out there facing a monster. And now they are back in the familiar embrace of Genoa City, but you have to wonder, are they really back? It feels like parts of their souls are still trapped in that scorching day in the Sahara Desert. Specifically, Adam's soul. As I think about Friday's upcoming episode, I simply cannot help but feel the heavy, suffocating weight of unspoken words hovering between Chelsea and Adam. The physical danger of Matt Clark might be miles away, though we know he is always lurking in the shadows, but the emotional danger, that is sitting right there in their living room. Chelsea is looking at the man she loves, the father of her child, and she's terrified that she is seeing the ghost of Spider flickering behind his eyes. It is a truly terrifying thing, isn't it? To love someone so deeply, yet fear that a past, darker version of them might suddenly awaken and swallow them whole. And the catalyst for this deep-seated fear, the slow-acting poison currently dripping into Chelsea's ear, is Reza Thompson. Reza, she is such a fascinating, destructive, and calculating force. When they were all trapped in the chaotic, high-stakes orbit of Vegas, Reza made sure to emphasize her connection to Spider. She didn't just mention it in passing. No, she weaponized it. She wanted Chelsea to feel small, to feel temporary, to feel like an outsider in Adam's darkest chapters. I can almost see Chelsea replaying those moments in her head, over and over again, like a broken record. The way Reza looked at Adam, the familiarity, the unspoken, gritty history that Chelsea was never a part of, it hurts. A deep, agonizing, physical ache in the chest. Chelsea is no stranger to the con. We have to remember that she used to be a master manipulator herself. That is exactly why Reza's words cut so incredibly deep. Chelsea knows when a seed of toxic doubt is being deliberately planted. She recognizes a game being played. But knowing it is a game doesn't stop the seed from taking root and growing into a suffocating vine of insecurity. She needs answers. She desperately needs Adam to pull these weeds from her mind before they choke the life out of their renewed romance. So, Friday arrives, and Chelsea simply cannot hold it in anymore. She just can't. The silence has become too loud. The interrogation begins. She questions Adam about Reza, about how far he actually pushed this little act of his in the desert to get what he wanted. You can feel the raw vulnerability in her voice, the slight tremble, the hesitation. She wants to know the truth, but does she really? The truth can be a razor blade, slicing through the comforting illusions we built for ourselves. Adam, to his immense credit, doesn't deflect. He doesn't lie. He admits to the kisses. Yes, kisses, plural. Just thinking about that makes my heart ache for Chelsea. To hear the man you love confess to kissing another woman, even if it was for survival. Even if it was a desperate ploy to save his brother Nick from Matt Clark's twisted, lethal games. It still burns. It burns like battery acid. Adam insists it was all an act. A necessary, calculated manipulation to get Reza on their side, to extract the information they desperately needed to find Nick before it was too late. But Chelsea, her mind must be spinning out of control. Where exactly does the act end and the reality begin? When you pretend to be someone else for so long, when you slip back into an old skin like Spider, do you lose a piece of yourself in the role? But then Adam reveals something that shifts the entire narrative. Something that brings a desperate glimmer of hope to this incredibly dark conversation. Reza wanted more. She wanted to take it to the bedroom. She wanted to fully resurrect Spider and claim him for herself, to consummate that dark partnership. And Adam said no, he wasn't interested. He drew a hard, impenetrable line in the sand. I really think this is the exact moment Chelsea actually starts to breathe again. A tiny, stuttering, fragile breath, but a breath nonetheless. Because if Adam was truly lost to the Spider persona, if he was truly slipping back into that dark, detached, adrenaline-fueled world, he would have crossed that line. He would have justified it to himself as part of the mission or a necessary sacrifice. But he didn't. His profound love for Chelsea, his desperate, grounding need to get back to her and Connor, acted as an unbreakable anchor. It held him steady when the treacherous currents of Vegas tried to pull him under. It is a profound testament to his emotional growth. But is it enough to completely silence the lingering whispers in Chelsea's mind? The real issue, the deepest, darkest, most paralyzing fear that Chelsea is harboring, isn't just about a physical kiss with Riza, it is about what Riza said regarding Spider's fundamental nature. Riza claimed with such venomous certainty that Spider is a player, a drifter, a man who inherently does not want to settle down. A man who runs from domesticity, from picket fences and family dinners like it is a burning building. And Chelsea, she is terrified to her very core that Riza is right. Because Chelsea knows Adam's history better than anyone. She knows his restless spirit, his self-destructive tendencies, his penchant for blowing up his own life when things get too quiet. What if this quiet life in Genoa City, this beautiful, fragile family unit they are trying so desperately to rebuild, what if it is just a temporary detour for him? What if the spider inside him is just sleeping, waiting for the right moment to wake up and tear it all down? It is a paralyzing, devastating thought. The idea that you are building your entire future, your entire heart, on a foundation that might just decide to pack up and walk away one day. You can feel Chelsea's absolute desperation as she confronts him with this, pleading with her eyes for him to prove Riza wrong. And Adam, oh, Adam, he looks at her, and he doesn't deny the past. He doesn't try to gaslight her into believing Spider was a saint. He admits that Riza was right. About Spider. Yes, Spider was a player. Spider didn't want roots. Spider was a fractured man running from his own shadow, running from the profound pain of being a Newman, running from the crushing, suffocating guilt of his past mistakes. But, and this is the crucial, life-altering but, Spider is not Adam Newman. Or at least, Spider is no longer the man sitting in front of Chelsea right now. Adam looks deep into her eyes. Those beautiful, terrified, searching eyes. And he tries to pour every single ounce of his soul into his words. He tells her that while Spider may have craved the neon lights, the danger, and the endless, meaningless distractions of Vegas, Adam only wants her. He only wants Chelsea. He only wants their life together. He wants the quiet mornings, the messy family dinners, the profound, terrifying, beautiful responsibility of being a devoted partner. And then there is Connor. Connor is the ultimate tether to reality, isn't he? When Adam speaks about their son, you can almost hear the atmospheric shift in the room. Connor is the living, breathing manifestation of their love, of their shared, chaotic, beautiful history. He is the reason Adam fought so incredibly hard to survive the explosion, the reason he fought through the pain to pull Nick out of the rubble, the reason he effortlessly resisted Riza's ultimate temptations. Adam is pleading with Chelsea to see that his commitment to their family is not an act. It is not a temporary role he is playing. It is the truest, most authentic part of his entire existence. He is a man who has lost so much in his life. The tragic, heartbreaking memory of baby Ava with Sally's spectre still haunts the edges of his consciousness, a phantom pain that never truly fades away. That profound loss, it only amplifies his desperate, primal need to protect and cherish the family he still has left. He cannot lose Chelsea. He cannot lose Connor. He is practically begging her to believe that Genoa City is his final destination, his true north, not just a pit stop on the way to another disaster. But healing takes time. It takes so incredibly much time. Chelsea wants to believe him. Every single fiber of her being aches to fall into his arms, to let the anxiety melt away, and to just be held. But trauma is a stubborn, relentless ghost. Riza's words are like a virus in her mind, and Adam's reassurances are the cure. But the medicine needs time to course through her veins and work its magic. Chelsea has to actively, consciously choose to trust him. To choose vulnerability over the safety of her emotional walls. It is a terrifying, breathtaking leap of faith. She has fought so incredibly hard for her own mental stability over the years, battling her own demons, recovering from her own severe breakdowns. To hand her fragile heart back to Adam, knowing the darkness he is capable of, knowing the magnetic pull of his alter ego. It is the bravest thing she could possibly do. As they sit there on Friday, the air thick with emotion and unshed tears, you can almost see the invisible battle raging within her to love or to protect oneself. It is the eternal, agonizing human dilemma, amplified 1,000 times by the high-stakes drama of the Newman world. We also have to remember the broader context of this deeply intimate conversation. The sheer, unadulterated trauma they just barely escaped. Las Vegas wasn't just a business trip gone wrong, it was a little descent into hell. Matt Clark, that absolute, irredeemable monster, orchestrated a psychological and physical nightmare that nearly cost them everything they hold dear. Adam was beaten, chained in a dark, dusty basement, forced to watch his brother Nick suffer from a poison drug supply. forced to confront the absolute darkest, most depraved parts of human nature. When you survive something like that, when you walk out of the fire with your life, your perspective shifts permanently. The trivial things burn away, leaving only the absolute, undeniable truths. For Adam, the absolute truth was Chelsea. When he was chained in that dark room, listening to Matt's psychotic, gloating taunts, it wasn't the thrill of the Vegas underworld that kept his mind from snapping. It was the thought of returning home to her. Chelsea needs to understand that the man who came back from Vegas is fundamentally not the man who left. And he is certainly not the spider who used to roam those neon-lit streets looking for an escape. Adam's reassurance in this moment is a masterclass in emotional vulnerability. He doesn't just offer empty, rehearsed platitudes. He offers his bare, scarred soul. He tells Chelsea that the spider chapter is permanently closed. It was a coping mechanism, a psychological shield he built to survive when he had forgotten who he was and couldn't bear the pain of his own existence. But he remembers now. He remembers the profound love they share. He remembers the vows they made, the promises they broke, and the desperate, beautiful, messy attempts to mend them over the years. He wants to prove, day by day, hour by agonizing hour, that he is a changed man. The way he looks at her, with such intense, unwavering, desperate devotion, it is enough to make anyone's heart flutter and ache at the same time. But this is the real world. Well, the Genoa City world. And happily ever after is always a fragile, fleeting thing, constantly under threat. Will his impassioned words be enough to completely erase Reeves' toxic, lingering legacy? Only time and consistent action will truly tell. And as Adam and Chelsea fight so desperately to cling to the light, to rebuild their emotional sanctuary, my mind can't help but drift to the other side of this tragedy. It is impossible not to think about the looming darkness. While fans are watching Adam pour his heart out, finding his way back to love, we are all collectively holding our breath, waiting with a deep sense of dread to see Nick Newman's next move. Oh, Nick. Sweet, tormented, honorable Nick. The contrast between these two brothers right now is absolutely devastating. Adam is finding his way back to stability, anchoring himself in his family, while Nick is spiraling rapidly into a terrifying abyss, the fentanyl, the severe addiction. The sheer psychological torture Matt Clark inflicted on him in that bunker, it has broken something fundamental and pure inside Nick. Adam survived Vegas and found his anchor in Chelsea. Nick survived Vegas, but he brought the demons back with him in his bloodstream. It is a tragic, heartbreaking dichotomy that perfectly illustrates the unpredictable, merciless nature of trauma. While Adam is sitting in a comfortable, safe room, holding the hands of the woman he loves, promising her a bright future, Nick is out there, battling a monster that lives inside his own body. Adam encouraged Nick to take those drugs in Vegas, a desperate, calculated, impossible move to keep his brother functional enough to fight Matt and save Sharon and Noah, but that decision, that terrible, haunting decision, is going to haunt Adam forever. Because the drugs were tainted, Matt Clark made sure of it. And now Nick is fighting for his life, fighting for his sanity, lying to his mother Nikki, pushing away the people who love him most. The fans are waiting, watching the clock tick down, knowing with a sickening certainty that Nick's next move could be catastrophic. Will he fully succumb to the addiction? Will he lash out at Sharon? Will Matt Clark, who is still out there, still breathing, still casually drinking at the GCC and plotting his revenge, use Nick's extreme vulnerability to deliver the final, fatal blow to the Newman family? The ripple effects of Las Vegas are going to drown Genoa City if these characters aren't incredibly careful. Adam's confession to Chelsea about Riza is just the tip of the emotional iceberg. It is the intimate fallout of a much larger, much more dangerous game of chess. Every single action has a profound consequence. Adam's act with Riza secured their physical survival, but it fractured Chelsea's fragile trust. Nick's survival secured his physical return to his family, but it completely shattered his sobriety and his peace of mind. The scales of fate are constantly balancing and unbalancing in this town. As Chelsea looks at Adam on Friday, deciding whether to accept his truth and let down her walls, she isn't just accepting him. She is accepting the entire messy, dangerous, chaotic reality of being tied to the Newman family. It is a package deal. You get the profound, world-altering love, but you also get the monsters lurking in the shadows, the enemies plotting in the dark, and the constant, lingering threat that everything you hold dear could explode at any given moment. So, as we prepare for this incredibly poignant, character-driven episode, we have to brace ourselves. We have to sit with the uncomfortable reality of Chelsea's doubts and the raw, bleeding honesty of Adam's confession. We have to feel the phantom, mocking presence of Riza Thompson, a ghost of Vegas past, trying to ruin a future she has absolutely no part in. We have to hope, with everything we have, that Adam's love is strong enough to finally silence the whispers of Spider. And simultaneously, we have to cast a worried, fearful glance over our shoulders at Nick Newman, praying that his next move isn't his last. This is the beauty and the tragedy of our beloved Genoa City. The moments of quiet intimacy are always framed by the looming storm. Chelsea and Adam are fighting tooth and nail for their happily ever after, but in a world where Matt Clark still breathes and addictions rage out of control. Happily ever after is a grueling battle you have to win every single day. I, for one, will be watching every second, heart in hand, hoping that love, for once, can truly conquer the darkness.